Deep in the Boreal Valley of northeastern India, the dense forests are prone to swallowing the landscape in a thick, rolling fog. In the early 20th century, the Zeme Naga tribe settled in this damp, isolated terrain. To protect their crops from wild pigs at night, they built blazing bonfires around the perimeter of their land. But the fires attracted something else entirely. Out of the pitch-black sky, dozens of birds began hurtling, plunging straight into the flames. The villagers watched the sky rain dead birds. With no scientific framework to explain avian behavior or weather anomalies, the sudden mass die-off was terrifying. The Zeme Nagas concluded there was only one explanation. They believed a demonic force had cursed the soil, punishing them for occupying the valley. Convinced they were living on doomed land, the entire tribe packed up and abandoned the village of Jatinga in 1905.
The hills held their secret for the next century, leaving the silent village of Jatinga as a permanent monument to a curse no one could explain. The abandoned land didn't stay empty for long. The Jatinga tribe eventually purchased the territory, deciding to ignore the local superstitions and rebuild the village. When the birds inevitably began falling from the sky again, the new settlers saw an opportunity rather than a curse. They grabbed long bamboo poles, knocked the dazed orms from the air, and collected them for dinner. This local hunting practice remained an obscure regional secret until a naturalist named E.P.G. documented it in a book, drawing the attention of scientists worldwide to the valley. Ornithologists arrived and cataloged the sheer scale of the die-off. They identified 44 distinct species of birds inexplicably drawn to their deaths in Jatinga. The victims included the tiger bittern, a medium-sized wading bird common to the local wetlands. Even fast, highly agile predators like kingfishers were found among the casualties, their bright blue feathers littering the ground around the village lights. A coordinated mass suicide among 44 different species was biologically impossible. Instead, investigators began mapping the specific mechanics of a lethal environmental disorientation that turned the village into a trap. This stylized map illustrates the specific topography of the Boreal Valley. The fatal plunges only happen here, and only during a narrow window between August and October. During these months, the standard air currents moving through the valley destabilize. The wind completely reverses its normal flow, rushing backwards from the southwest to the northeast. But the wind alone isn't enough. The trap requires a moonless night, a thick blanket of heavy mist, and a steady, cold drizzle. Finally, these precise weather conditions must align perfectly within a tight 3.5-hour window between 6 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. When a flock hits this exact combination of dark, wet, and turbulent air, they suffer extreme sensory deprivation. They are entirely blinded, their natural internal compasses scrambling in the chaos. Terrified and unable to see the ground, the birds search frantically for any visual anchor. They spot the only illuminated things for miles, the glowing lamps and roaring fires of Jatinga, and dive straight toward them. The villagers didn't invent the weather, but the simple act of lighting a fire in the dark inadvertently weaponized an atmospheric glitch into a fatal magnet. Over a century later, the supposed demons of 1905 have a name. We know them as fog, wind currents, and severe sensory disorientation. As the scientific explanation spread, the local community adapted. The tribespeople transitioned from terrified victims fleeing their homes to opportunistic hunters, and eventually to educated stewards of their environment. Today, when the autumn mist rolls in and the birds become trapped in the valley's air currents, the residents do not hunt them. Instead, they patrol the village, working actively to catch the dazed animals and keep them safe until morning. The State Tourism Department of Assam has embraced this unique ecological history, constructing a local watchtower and a museum dedicated to explaining the anomaly to visitors. The village operates as a beacon of ecological awareness, where scientific conservation efforts have taken the place of historical superstition. The long history of this valley proves human behavior can evolve. It shows we have the capacity to investigate what terrifies us, understand the science behind it, and step up to protect the natural world.